This is Larry Rosenthal of the Goldman School with closing remarks, the Eightfold Path in Practice. This concluding lecture in our Putting It All Together unit will feature first the nature of public problems, then some remarks in review on the magic of the Eightfold Path. Thirdly, we'll look at the Eightfold Path and how it relates to democratic policymaking. And lastly, we'll emphasize features of the Eightfold Path and policy work as both art and craft. First, the nature of public problems. The Eightfold Path, as we've delivered it here in this online course, is essentially a style of thinking about governance. It treats governance as a kind of step-by-step practice with two primary features. First, a precision of focus on one defined problem at a time, and secondly, only incremental gains realized through regular iteration, evaluation, and new policymaking. We believe this method is specially suited toward public problems, those featuring shared experience and collective concern. Those who commit themselves to this form of continuous, gradual social improvement will find that they have a lot to say about the institutions by which we govern ourselves in an open society, be they markets, political systems, legal systems and rights orientations, organizations across the sectors, and the development of expertise. The Eightfold Path, as we've revealed it, I think is adaptable across roles of government, private sector organizations, and nonprofits, united in having conversations and debates over the primary question in any circumstance: what should we the people do? Next, the magic of the Eightfold Path, to reiterate some of the advantages that we've explained during this online course. First, as we've seen, Bardach presents us with a linear and systematic system, but also one that's flexible and adaptable. The idea is that even though the 8 steps are laid out in order, the process is practiced as an iterative, creative method in which we're always thinking, evaluating, revisiting, deciding, persuading. The idea is to leave you with an approach to public policy that is pragmatic, that is always organized towards doing better, kind of optimism, that is bent on constructive debate, that always has an eye towards the effective and efficient use of finite resources, and that proceeds in a principled way, only based upon the strongest evidence. The idea is not to evade or ignore politics, but to set politics in place as one of many possible criteria for weighing action. The magic of the Eightfold Path also prepares you to make evidence-based policy choices and then to critique others' work even more systematically than you were able to do so before. Some remarks on the Eightfold Path and its political context in a system of constitutional government like the United States, one of democracy. First, it's clear from Bardach's technique that the Eightfold Path envisions a client, an elected official, an appointed official, or someone else who's in a position to be able to foster and enact your actionable recommendations as the analyst. But we need to think further about this. The insights of speakers in this course like Robert Reich, former U.S. Secretary of Labor, and Jennifer Granholm, former 2-term governor of the state of Michigan. These insights show that analytical thinking can and should structure and inform leadership forged via democratic processes. Jean Bardach's model of social improvement is in this way evolutionary. The idea is that your recommendations will be based upon collective learning and will be part of a process of steady policy reevaluation and adjustment. But we're committed to the view in the Eightfold Path that the best democracy is smart democracy, where popular will learns and is informed by the hard thinking of policy analysis, and vice versa. Policy work learns from the will and the desire of the people. Finally, some remarks on policy analysis as both art and craft. You should realize by now that this course and Bardak's text indicate that, like other professions, policy work involves skills and intuitions, which are best honed over a long career. If this online course or your first trip through Bardak's practical guide text is a first-time affair, you're just getting started. Please have faith that the value of this approach will only increase the more you practice it. All along, throughout a career in the public policy, arts, and crafts, the Eightfold Path will provide you a source of guidance, structure, and inspiration. What the method means most is defined best by your experience and your learned perspective, and that only develops as you do your policy work. Of course, many of the students we've worked with in teaching the Eightfold Path at Berkeley, they find that they need to conduct a number of policy analyses and evaluations, participate in a number of such projects before they fully appreciate Bardak's teachings. And so now the rest is up to you to take the Eightfold Path and use it in your work. For now, we thank you for your effort in this course, and we wish you all the best of good luck with the work that lies ahead. In these closing remarks, the Eightfold Path in practice, we've looked at the nature of public problems, the magic of the Eightfold Path and democratic policymaking, and lastly, policy work as both art and craft. I thank you for your attention, and we appreciate your taking this course with us.